Have you ever needed to look up a court record, maybe to do a quick background check or verify a property lien, and just felt completely overwhelmed by where to even start? Well, you are definitely not alone. Public data can feel like a maze. But hey, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. In this explainer, we are going to completely demystify how to search public court records online. And the best part, we're focusing on how to do it absolutely for free. We're going to cut through the legal jargon, streamline the whole process for you, and give you the exact actionable steps you need to become your own best researcher. Okay, let's just dive right into it. Right off the bat, we actually have to tackle a massive geographic trap. This one honestly frustrates countless online searchers every single day. Did you know there are actually two totally different Genesee counties in the United States? It's true. If you just blindly type Genesee County court records into your search engine, you might end up falling down a rabbit hole in the completely wrong jurisdiction, and nobody wants to waste time like that. So knowing exactly where you're looking is absolutely crucial. On one side, we've got Genesee County, Michigan, which is centered right in the city of Flint. On the other side, there's Genesee County, New York, centered in Batavia. Fun fact, the Michigan county was actually named after the New York one, but legally speaking, they are basically on different planets. They operate under totally different state constitutions, different judicial hierarchies, and entirely separate public record laws. So pinpointing which one you need is step number one. Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with why accessing these records is useful, then understand the record types. After that, we'll go step by step through the process for Michigan, and then step by step for New York. Finally, we'll wrap up with privacy, legal use, and some extra tips and resources. Okay, starting with Section 1, why access court records? Let's look at the big picture for a second. Why should you or any everyday citizen care about this? Well, public court records are literally the backbone of transparency in our justice system. They're how we keep the government accountable. But practically speaking, this data is incredibly useful for everyday life. Legal professionals obviously use them all the time, and historians use them to piece together the past. But maybe you just want to verify property liens before you close on a real estate deal, or maybe you need to check someone's personal history. Having access to this public data essentially gives you the power to make fully informed decisions. Let's move right along to Section 2, understanding record types. Before you can pull a record, you kind of need to know which specific court actually has it. And since we're dealing with two different states here, we're looking at two parallel tracks of justice. In Genesee County, Michigan, things are split up. Major civil cases over $25,000 and felony crimes go through the 7th Judicial Circuit Court. For smaller civil claims, landlord-tenant disputes, and misdemeanors, you'll look at the 67th District Court. Oh, and estates, those are in probate court. Now, New York does things differently. In Genesee County, New York, the county clerk handles both the Supreme Court, which surprisingly is actually the trial court for major civil disputes and divorces, and the county court, which handles felonies. Estates over in New York, those go through the surrogates court. Same exact county name, totally different legal language. When we compare these two systems, the online experience is pretty drastically different. Michigan's main free portal is called McCourt. But here's the catch. Michigan generally won't let you view the actual case documents online for free. You get the index data and a summary called the Register of Actions, but if you want the physical document, you usually have to request it. New York, on the other hand, uses the eCourts and NYCEF systems. And it's a real game changer because New York actually allows for free PDF viewing and downloading of tons of civil records. So your expectations for what you can get instantly really depend on which state you're searching in. All right, let's get into the tactical stuff. Section 3, step by step for Michigan. So here is exactly how you run a search in Genesee County, Michigan. First, head over to the My Court Case search portal and agree to their terms of service. Second, you have to filter by the specific court. Remember, choose the 7th Circuit for felonies or the 67th District for misdemeanors. Third, type in the party's name. Now, pay attention because step 4 is a massive pro tip. You need to watch out for display errors. If you're looking at a criminal record on My Court, glance at the attempted, conspired, solicited section. If you see an A sitting there, be super careful. The system sometimes makes a misdemeanor attempt look like a full-blown felony. Always, always double-check that. And finally, step 5, keep historical limits in mind. Speaking of those historical limits, if you are trying to find a Michigan District Court case that was filed before July 31st, 2014, you're going to hit a brick wall online. Because of system migrations and clean slate laws, older cases simply won't show up on the portal. But don't panic. To troubleshoot this, you just need to download a manual search form from their site and email it straight to their records desk at 67thhelp@geneseecountymi.gov. So if a search comes up totally empty, it doesn't necessarily mean the record doesn't exist. It might just be older than 2014. Okay, flipping the script now. Section 4, Step by Step for New York. The New York digital ecosystem is huge, but it's incredibly useful once you know the path. Step 1. You start at the New York eCourts homepage and pick either Web Civil Supreme or Web Civil Local. Step 2. Filter your search down to Genesee County to check active dockets. But Step 3. This is where the magic really happens. You want to navigate over to the NYSEF portal. You don't even need a fancy lawyer account, just click Search as Guest. Once you're in, pick the Genesee County Supreme or Surrogates Court, pop in the person's name or the index number, and you can instantly download PDF copies of things like final judgments and complaints for absolutely zero cost. It's an amazing resource. But just a quick word of caution while you're navigating this giant database. Because these state systems are so massive, you are going to run into people who share the exact same name. A name match does not automatically mean a person match. Actually, it's pretty common to get them mixed up. You really have to cross-reference other identifiers, like middle initials, filing locations, and the context of the case, before you jump to any conclusions about the person you're looking up. Which brings us to a very important topic. Section 5, Privacy and Legal Use. Look, balancing the public's right to know with an individual's right to privacy is a really delicate tightrope in the legal world. Transparency is great, but it has boundaries. Both of these states have strict rules to protect sensitive info. For instance, in New York, divorce and matrimonial filings are heavily restricted. They're actually sealed for 100 years to keep intimate family details private. In Michigan, things like juvenile cases, adoptions, and certain mental health records are completely blocked from public view. Plus, both states have clean slate laws that automatically hide certain older, nonviolent convictions to give people a second chance. And we need to be crystal clear about how you personally are allowed to use this data. The public portals explicitly state, GeneseeCountyCourt.us is not a consumer reporting agency as defined by the FCRA and does not provide consumer reports. So what does that actually mean for you? It means you absolutely cannot use these free websites to run formal, unauthorized background checks to decide if you're going to hire someone, approve a tenant for an apartment, or issue credit. Doing that is a direct violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. This free data is there for educational, personal, and basic legal research, not formal consumer screening. Almost done. Section 6, Tips and Resources. So what happens if you follow all these steps and you still come up empty-handed? Don't worry, there are backup plans. In Michigan, you can tap into local community resources like the Genesee District Library or the Michigan Legal Help Resource Center. They are literally there to help guide you. In New York, if you just can't find a specific case number online, you can actually walk into the Batavia County Clerk's office, and they'll run an index search for you. It only costs $5 for every 2-year period they search. Also, just a heads up, while searching online is free, if you need them to print and mail official physical copies, Michigan charges about $1 per page, and New York charges 65 cents per page. Before we finish up, I do need to give you a quick reality check with our standard disclaimer. This explainer is strictly for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal advice. The justice system is incredibly complicated, and the rules around public records shift all the time. If you are dealing with a specific, sensitive legal issue of your own, please go consult with a qualified licensed attorney in your jurisdiction. I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. We've just seen how incredibly powerful these digital databases are. They open up decades of legal history to literally anyone with a Wi-Fi connection. But as these tools get better and more accessible, we really have to ask ourselves, how do we best balance our undeniable right to government transparency with a person's fundamental right to privacy and rehabilitation? It's a fascinating tension, and it's one our courts are going to be wrestling with for a long time. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today. Stay curious, use this information responsibly, and I will see you in the next explainer.